this meeting was given to all board members and associates in a meeting notice dated August 10th, 2023. Furthermore, on that date, a copy of such notice was sent to the Times, the Trentonian, and the clerk of the Township of Hamilton. It was also posted on the bulletin board at the entrance to the boardroom in the Hamilton Square Administrative Building. Please rise to the flag salute.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Please.
Ms. Byrne,
Ms. Byrne will not be here this evening.
Mr. Salentano,
Here.
Dr. Farrar,
Here.
Mr. Gonzalez,
Here.
Ms. Harvey,
Here.
Mr. Kanka,
Here.
Dr. McSheen,
Here.
Ms. Thornton.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Can I have a motion to go into executive session?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Motion passes.
Whereas NJSA 10:4-13 requires adoption of the board to go into executive session, be it resolved that the board pursuant to the Open Public Meetings Act, New Jersey, Title 18A, and the Hamilton Township Board of Education Bylaw number 0166, hereby enter executive session to discuss a matter involving human resource matters, matters falling under the attorney-client privilege, and other matters. Be it further resolved that the minutes of this executive session shall be made public following formal action by the board and/or at the conclusion of any investigation, due process proceeding, or litigation, so long as not prohibited by law and so long as the need for maintaining confidentiality no longer exists. Going to start our meeting agenda. I'm actually going to ask if we can add an agenda item. We would like to add the swearing in of our new board member, Denise Soto, to the agenda for this evening.
So moved.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Motion passes.
Gonna ask Ms. Harvey. Come up and I'll set this up for you.
Munchkin height.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Oh, do you have your copy? No. Is Denise's, going to, and raise your right hand. Yep. And then, I guess, here.
Hold it.
Yeah. Okay, you will repeat after me. I, Denise Soto,
I, Denise Soto,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution
that I will support the Constitution
of the United States
of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and that I will bear truth, faith, and allegiance
and that I will bear truth, faith, and allegiance
to the same and to the governments established
to the same and to the governments established
in the United States and the state
in the United States and the state
under the authority of the people,
under the authority of the people.
so help me God.
So help me God.
I, Denise Soto,
I, Denise Soto,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I possess the qualifications
that I possess the qualifications
prescribed by law
prescribed by law
for the office of member of a Board of Education,
for office of member of the Board of Education,
and that I will faithfully,
and I will faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and justly
and justly
perform all the duties
perform all the duties
of that office according to the best of my ability,
according to the best of my ability.
so help me God.
So help me God.
Furthermore,
Furthermore,
I affirm
I affirm
and declare
and declare
that I am not disqualified
that I am not disqualified
as a voter
as a voter
pursuant to revised statutes 19:4-1,
pursuant to
revised
revised statute
19,
19:4-1.
so help me God.
So help me God.
Okay, congratulations. Up here.
Congratulations. Please join us.
Oh, okay.
No time limits.
All good.
Okay. You need.
There goes the 4 minutes.
So we're going to let Ms. Soto get settled and then we will begin our agenda. Okay, we're going to start this evening with the superintendent's report.
Good evening, everyone. Unfortunately, we've experienced more loss in our school community since our last meeting. So I'm going to ask everybody to join me in a moment of silence for Joseph Solinsky, who was a campus monitor for us at West, Brian Barron, who worked in our warehouse, and Anna Carella, who taught Italian for us. So if you join me in a moment of silence. Thank you. As we're ready to open up a new school year, I'd like to give you some information from last year. We continue to offer 20 AP courses, and last year our students took approximately 1,800 AP exams. We continue to offer 30+ honors classes at our high schools. We have a robust seal of biliteracy program, and our curriculum and instruction committee will talk a little bit about that in a couple of minutes. We continue to offer the PSATs at no charge to our 9th, 10th, and 11th graders. We run dual enrollment programs with Kane University, Mercer County Community College, and William Patterson University. We collaborate and partner with the College of New Jersey annually on professional development and technology grants for our staff. Our esports teams continue to grow in all 3 of our high schools. Our 3 marching bands have continued to perform and win. They performed this year together in a number of our parades and at Disney World. North's band took 4th place in the U.S. Band's percussion competition and 2nd place at the New Jersey Indoor Percussion Competition. Our Gladiator Cafe at Reynolds was recognized by the New Jersey School Boards Association and received a School Leader Award. Numerous schools in our district have been recognized for their character education programs and have been awarded Schools of Character or Promising Practice Recognition. They include Greenwood, Layler, Crockett, Langtree, and Morgan, to just name a few. Steiner Girls Softball, who we recognized last month, was Group 3 state champs, and Nottingham's basketball team was Central Jersey Group 3 champs. West's Unified team was recognized as a National Unified Champion Banner School, and West's robotics team competed in the national tournament. West had a spring track meet of champions winner. Nottingham's varsity and JV cheerleaders were CVC champions. Nottingham's step team performed at the Apollo, and Steiner's acapella team acapella singers will be performing, and our CNI will talk about that in a couple of minutes. North class of 2023 had 19 students receive the Presidential Awards for Academic Excellence, and 18 students received the Award for Academic Achievement. Steiner's Jazz Band competed at the National Jazz Festival, and our tech department has presented at the state level and has national recognition, with members of the team being accepted into the Google Innovator Program. There was a lot of success there last year in our district all across the board. Now, as we begin to start the school year, we want to build on those successes in the classrooms, on the stages, on our athletic fields, and within our district. We are committed to this work. That is why our theme for the coming school year is Every Day Counts. I'm asking everyone who has some role or responsibility in our district to identify what they can do and will do to make sure every day counts in our district. Ask yourself what you can do to make today and tomorrow better than yesterday for all of our students in our district. What can you do to positively impact the life of students you know? But just importantly, what can you do to positively impact the life of the students you have not met yet? How can you create or support a positive mindset in our district and those who work and learn here? It's easy to be negative. It's easy to say things aren't working. Leadership comes in all forms and doesn't require a title. Be a leader by helping create positive change in our district by making every day count for every student and staff member in our district. A clear sign that school is around the corner. Power School opened today. So if you have high school students, you can get your child's schedule. And I remind everybody that you have to fill out those emergency forms online, but you do not have to fill out 3 copies per kid. You only have to do it once per child. Power School opened for high school students today, opens for middle school students tomorrow, and opens for elementary school students on Friday. We'll have 2 more pop-up schoolhouses in August and September. Today, Kistart had their pop-up schoolhouse, and it was very well attended. Had a chance to stop by there before tonight's meeting. Coozer's pop-up schoolhouse is at 3 o'clock on August 29th, and Greenwood's is at 3:30 on September 13th. Over the summer, we had a number of projects worked on in our districts, and we make a point of talking about this every year when we develop the budget. We say that we are committed to not only completing the referendum projects, but we commit $1 million to $2 million towards renovation, repairs, and upgrades. And that includes the material and resources and the construction workers or anybody that's obligated to be part of that process. And so just to give you a little taste of some of the work that we've been doing this year, there is AC in West and Steiner's cafeterias, and now we have air conditioning in all 3 high school cafeterias. Again, this is an effort by this Board of Education to make sure that there is a large space in every building that has air conditioning. Only 2 buildings in our district are completely air conditioned: University Heights, where we are tonight, and Wilson. Greenwood had HVAC upgrades and AC put into several large areas. This follows the work that was done at Mercerville last year. Wilson and Coozer had additional modular classrooms installed. Yardville Heights had boiler room work done. And if you remember, when we were at Yardville Heights last year, the boiler broke that night of the board meeting. So that's the work that is done there. Flooring was done at Crockett, Grice, Reynolds, Coozer, West, Scion, Alexander, and Yardville. All 3 middle school libraries are being updated. I actually was at Reynolds today and it looks fantastic. I got a chance to actually talk with some of our maintenance that are team that's working on that and thank them for the work that they're doing, but also to the public to know, if you haven't heard before, this aligns with the work that we've done over the last few years with our high school libraries. We upgraded our high school libraries so they are places where students can go if you want to be an individual and find a corner. There are places you can go as a small group to study, and there are places for classrooms to teachers to take their whole classroom down. The same thing is being done at our middle schools now, and that work is being done. So those libraries are being renovated. A little funny story about talking with some of the gentlemen that were working at Reynolds today. One of them actually went to Reynolds as a student, and he goes, "I think these chairs were here when I went to school here." So I thought that was nice. All 3 high school athletic fields had turf and track projects. West is completely done. North and Steiner will be done according to the schedule. However, let me clarify for the public the issue with a subcontractor who was hired by the contractor awarded to the project at North for a specific function with the installation of the turf field at North. The issue was immediately addressed, and that subcontractor is working with the Department of Labor. It is our expectation that all contractors hold their subcontractors to New Jersey's laws and regulations associated with wages and contractual requirements. Only the turf installation at Nottingham was impacted when this occurred. We expect the project to be completed according to the timeline established at the start of that work. A topic that has come up a number of times is subscription busing. Each year, we offer subscription busing when we have additional seats. This year, we have fewer additional seats due to enrollment increases, which we know, and we've spoken about these enrollment increases. However, we are working with our transportation department to identify available seats, and families will be contacted as those seats become available. Since last winter, we began to develop and present the tentative and final budgets. During that time, I talked about security upgrades to our high schools and middle schools. Those upgrades are being installed. All 3 high schools, 3 middle schools, and our HEP building will get security systems where students, staff, and visitors pass through them each day. These are not, I repeat, these are not your traditional old school metal detectors. These are systems very much like you've probably walked through if you've gone to a professional sporting event or unfortunately had to go to one of our local emergency rooms. The systems scan you as you walk through, and if there is an item on you or in a bag that you are carrying and it identifies it as an issue, it will identify the exact location of where that item is, and then you will be asked to move to the side to speak to somebody on our security team. This will take a little getting used to by all of our students and staff. However, my senior staff has been out and has observed this system in use, and they've seen a school of 2,000 students efficiently bring students in at the start of the day. So the system is quick and efficient as soon as everybody gets used to it. In addition, our high schools, middle schools, and HEP will have retired law enforcement officers as security guards. We will still have our SROs and lead officers who are Hamilton police officers in our buildings. We have a long-standing and excellent relationship with Hamilton Police Department, and I expect that that will continue for many years to come. At all of our elementary schools, we will have campus monitors as part of our security upgrades. Upgrades to school security and safety are as important as upgrades to our facilities and learning resources. We must continue to work on school safety and provide safe environments for all who work and learn in our school district. Changing topics here to something for high school parents and high school students. Beginning August 1st, all high schools started the transition from Naviance to School Links as our college and career platform. All high school counselors will be trained September 1st. They will also have access to the learning library to preview the upgraded system. Information for seniors will be disseminated through the counseling office at each building. Parents will also be notified. All underclassmen and their families will be onboarded by the end of the first semester. A couple of really fun, exciting things, especially going on this week. We have new teacher orientation. This week, we welcomed over 130 staff members. Our week-long orientation is for new hires who are just starting with us this year, long-term substitutes, and anybody that was hired last year that started after new teacher orientation. So when I tell you 130 people, these aren't all brand new this year. We had, and every year in every district, we have people that retire and resign throughout the year, and then we have mid-year hires. Those mid-year hires are counted in this number of people. And so the focus of the orientation is to introduce our staff to the various departments and initiatives within the district, unpack the evaluation framework, learn and experience our technology applications, and make professional connections with our HDSD family. And as a little funny aside, I also take this opportunity with our new teachers to bring Mr. Scotto up and announce him as Mr. Scotto, me as Dr. Rocco, Scotto, Rocco, and tell them they're still going to get us confused. So I'll get his email and he'll get my email. But it's a great group of people, hardworking, very fun, enjoying the first couple of days. And it is a little exhausting for them, but they are doing great work. Over the summer and throughout the school year, we offer tremendous amount of professional learning, and this summer is no different. Last week, we ended our 2023 summer PD offerings. The season was truly a success. Staff were able to participate in over 40 workshops. In addition, we ran a 4-part book study and 6 weeks of Google training for support staff. And many thanks to the trainers, our tech department trainers, and all the folks that provided that professional development. Last Monday, a week ago Monday, we held a job fair. an on-site job fair. And I want to thank Dr. Copeland, Director of HR, my entire senior staff team who is here, and the administrators and supervisors that participated in that. We brought in staff. Staffing shortages are everywhere across the United States. There's lots of articles being written about that. We had 5 hires as a result of that job fair. So I want to thank everybody who was part of that. Thank you for your hard work. All 10-month employees return on September 1st, and they will also be here on September 5th for professional development. All students, if you are listening, anybody, sorry to give you this, but you start Wednesday, September 6th, and that is a 1-session day for all students. We are very excited. As we open our doors for the first day of school, I'd like to remind our students of the importance of being present at school and being there on time. Our high schools start at 7:50 a.m. That means students are expected to be in the building and in period 1 in your seats ready to learn at 7:50 a.m. Our middle school starts at 8:25. This means students are expected to be in the building and in homeroom and ready for the day at 8:25. Our elementary schools open their doors at 8:45 and instruction starts at 8:55. This means that students should be in the building and in their classroom and ready to learn at 8:55. This may sound like a minor topic, but just a minute or two late a day adds up over 180 days. And that goes back to every day counts. There's a lot to be proud of in our district and a lot we still need to work on moving forward. We've committed as a team to do that work and to prepare for another school year. And for me, I'm excited about the start of this year, just as excited this year as I was 30 years ago when I started my first day in education. 30 years later, I still get excited. The first day teachers show up, the first day staff shows up, the first day students show up. So let's make it a great year and let's make sure every day counts. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Rocco. Do any Board of Education members have any announcements to make? Dr. Ferrara?
So I get to do the break a leg shout out to the Steinert Spartones, who are opening for Foreigner on September 3rd at the PNC Bank Arts Center in Homedale. And they got that opportunity by winning a contest. I went to the concert website today and the event is listed as high demand. So likely because the Spartones are drawing a crowd there. An orchestra seat in section 103, row G, was going for $749. For those of you who are unfamiliar with the Spartones, they are an auditioned after-school competitive choral ensemble that focuses on the contemporary pop a cappella genre. Students are required to be in music class in order to audition. There are only 18 seats that are open each year due to competition regulations, and their advisor is Steinert music teacher Madeline Curtin. So I believe there's somebody in the room that's going. There has to be.
There is. Somebody in the room is going.
You're going? All right. Did you get the $749 seat?
We have 2 people in the room going.
My son has 2 tickets.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yours plus one. Yours plus
I'm
one.
the +1.
Thank you, Dr. Farrar. Ms. Harvey?
My announcement isn't as fun. As the rep to the New Jersey School Boards Association, there was a new legislation that was passed last week. So I just wanted to update the board. It hopefully will provide some relief to our district, maybe not in this year, but in future years. The governor signed into law a bus extension law, which will extend the life of buses past 12 years, as long as the bus passes an inspection to make sure it's still safe and fit for pupil use. So hopefully that will benefit us in the long run as we transition our fleet from leasing and to owning.
Harvey, any other Board of Education members? Okay. So the next is our student representatives, which we have not started yet. We look forward to them joining us next month at our meeting. And then we move to our committee reports. And I will start with Mr. Kanka. Would you like to do the committee report for finance and operations?
The Finance and Operations Committee met on August the 9th at 8:30 a.m. I would like to thank the committee members who attended and the senior staff who attended that meeting. Dr. Rocco presented his communications update, talking briefly about, working with the community, the job fair that he had spoke about, and the pop-up schoolhouse. Then we went to the initiative items, with the track and the field update. And as, Dr. Rocco brought up in his report, in his comments, there was a discussion, taken on by the committee about the subcontractor at the North Field. That was, there was a work stoppage placed by the Department of Labor. We did discuss that, and as of right now, we are assured that that has all been taken care of, and the work has resumed at North, and is still scheduled to be completed by the end of this month. We also discussed the interior fencing at both east and north. And those fences will be completed after the fall sports season is over, and they will be installed with the school colors for those fences for each school. The committee also discussed the opening of the tracks for public use. We decided that we were going to wait until every single field was completed, which we're hoping for by the end of this month or the first week of September. And then those fields will be, those tracks will be open for the public for public use. Then we also moved on to the North baseball field with the drainage issue. We had hoped, or I had hoped, that the new drainage system that was put in on the football field would alleviate the problems with the baseball field, and it did not. We had had some pretty disappointing reports on the drainage on the football field, and we were hoping that by opening up that new drainage system on the football field would alleviate that problem with the baseball field. It did not. So we had discussed earlier about we had put in the budget for a project to complete that or repair that drainage problem. And it's going to be tied into the drainage system, the new system on the football field. So that's on tonight's agenda. We also, Dr. Altobello addressed the board. There was a issue brought up about door security in the district. Doors that are not being monitored or have some type of monitoring system on them. There was a specific amount of doors that they addressed, and they brought to the board some proposals that were, and we had some questions about what type of system is going to be used, whether it's going to be at the doors open more than 10 seconds, then some type of an alert would go out to a building administrator. And there was some other options that were brought up on, and we're looking at some costs at that point. And as we move along, I will update the public and the board on what we're going to bring forward to the board. Then we talked about the Crockett classroom, the additional classrooms that they're going to use at Crockett. They're going to convert the wood shop area into classrooms. There's going to be some specific work that's going to be completed in the fall of 2023. The remaining work on the ceilings and flooring will be the following summer of 2024. And on tonight's agenda, there's a change of use request for that particular project. There was also a discussion. There was some concern, some parents in the district had brought to one of the board members about school supplies, that there was this, there was some discrepancy in some of the lists that were, some students were asked to supply specific items that didn't correspond with other schools. We spoke to Dr. Rocco about it, and they were going to look into that and try to clarify what was needed for the students to be brought into the that they were requiring to bring into the school, to make it more uniform for all the schools and not to be so wide, the list being so widespread for specific schools. Then we moved on to food service. There's going to be an expanded eligibility this year starting in September of 2023 for free meals. We're messaging all the parents to complete the free and reduced applications to determine eligibility. And I've been stressing this for months and months and months. Please fill out those applications. If you don't think you're qualified, just fill it out anyway. Let the district decide whether you're qualified or not, based on what the information you provide. Because the district is not going to let any child go without a lunch during the school day. And if if you are eligible for this program and you build up a debt to the district, the district is going to lose money if they find out, let's say 3 months down the road, that you qualify. The state's not gonna, they don't retroactively pay us. We get paid by the people that are qualified at that time. So if you qualify, please fill out that application so we don't incur any negative balances over the next year. The district is emailing letters to all parents on the new expanded eligibility program and their current balances, whether they're positive or negative, before school starts. Letters will be mailed out to parents with balances over $500. We moved on to the dual use applications with Cruiser for the ESL in the resource room. We had a brief discussion on that, and we moved on to capital summer projects, which I can't even talk about it anymore because Dr. Rocco said everything on my list here. The only thing he didn't say, like I said, the Greenwood, all the projects, Greenwood HVAC, Wilson, and Cruiser Modulars, the West and East Cafes, HVAC, Yarba Heights, the boiler work, the flooring throughout multiple schools. Everything is on schedule or completed at this time. The only one that he did not mention was the paving in the district, and that is also on schedule before school starts. And also on tonight's agenda is a professional service approval for the modular classrooms at Wilson to be included in the 23-24 budget, and the work is to be completed in the spring and summer of 24. We also discussed the demographic study, the final draft that was received, and it is still under review. And that really completes my report with the committee. And if anybody has any questions, or if I skipped anything, I would like to, Ms. Harvey.
Thank you. This came about after our meeting, but it's really a question for Mrs. Atwood. The feedback I've been getting from the public is that the letter, and I think it's the letter we send to the students or to the parents about the free and reduced lunch, is just confusing if they qualify for free or reduced. So I don't know if that's something we send and we can just make it clearer, or if that's something the state sends and maybe we can send something like an email or something, but it's just been confusing. So I actually directed parents to your office. Sorry.
You want me to respond to that? Yes. So it is a state required letter format, but we issue it and they have to approve it. But yeah, I'd like to understand the confusion. I think what is confusing is that the state already has a program that if you're eligible under the federal program for reduced, the state provides it free. Now the state has expanded it even further, so the federal hasn't changed the free level, the state has expanded. So I think the letter has to speak to both. It's
Okay.
confusing, but it's what the federal government requires, but absolutely send them to us. Bottom line is expanded eligibility. Please complete the forms, please, because we're hoping that a lot more people can be eligible.
Thank you.
I just
Mr.
want to confirm
Kankajou?
one thing. Greenwood is under a free program this year coming up.
Oh, good point. Yes, Greenwood School, all students are free this year. That is new, and that's based on a federal requirement based on certain percentages.
Anybody else?
Yes. So I've been hearing rumors about a brand new baseball stadium being installed in Nottingham. I don't think that's true, but I was
And a
hoping you could just
decade out.
clarify the work, the work that's going on. I think maybe there's confusion with the turf fields going in for the football fields and what's happening in the baseball field. So if you could just clarify a little.
No, the only thing that's going on at Nottingham is we've had a drainage issue there for years. And actually, when the new drainage system was put in, I was on vacation that week and I called Principal Regazzo because it poured like for 2 straight days. And I says, could you please go out to the science wing and take a picture of that field for me? And he did. And the field was flooded. And this is after the new system was put in on the football field. We were hoping that the new football field drainage would alleviate that problem, and it did not. What happened was when the original project for the football field was to start, they ran the cameras in the drainage pipe under the field, and the drainage pipe actually went nowhere and it stopped. So we figured it was back. I was hoping it was just backing up and flowing in that direction, and it wasn't. The field was the new system was in, it was working fine, but the field was still flooded. And this was, the next day after the rain had stopped, there was still literally 3 or 4 inches of water on the infield. And if that thing is graded properly and has the right drainage under it, you should be able to play on that field within hours after it rains. And there was no way that this was happening. This was like a day later. And the way it looked like it was going to be at least a week before that thing even dried out. So we're hoping that that with this new system, it'll take care of that. And they'll put the new drainage under there, and what they'll do is they'll regrade the field when they do that. And what the field should be doing, it should be crowned. So when the water comes in, it rolls off to the sidelines. This field is not. It's almost the opposite way. It's an inverted crown. So.
It's like a pool. Got it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what I heard was no new concession stand, no new AstroTurf field.
No,
Correct.
not
Okay.
unless there's another committee that I'm not aware of.
Thank
Just
you.
new dirt.
Hopefully no flooding.
Just-
And maybe there may be some sod involved or something like this.
They're actually using the dirt that they took off the field to put in there. So we
Okay.
recycle. That's why there's some mounds out there.
There's a big mound out there and they're gonna use that on the baseball field, so.
I believe.
Just
Salvatano, you
to
have-
follow up, Rich, are you telling me that the water ponded there for days or a couple?
Oh, yeah.
So my experience would tell me that there's a possibility that underneath there's an awful lot of clay. Because that's
No, there's cement
Because
on
we had that same problem with the stadium. When I say we, the county had the same problem with the stadium at the riverfront or whatever it's called. And they had to rip that whole thing up.
It's actually cement that's underneath there,
But that's even worse
so.
or as bad.
Yeah.
So why didn't they remove it? Do we know that?
Hmm?
Do we know why they didn't remove that?
20-some years old.
It's-
Because the original baseball field was where that wing is.
And I think I think through the conversations we've had, part of this has to do with when that addition was put on and whether that's just what was left of the concrete
And they
being.
buried it.
Yeah, but we know there's concrete under there.
Right.
That's why they've kept the dirt from the football field renovation. 'Cause they know they're gonna need the dirt, right?
If
So
it
instead of
keeps-
having to truck stuff in and out, they've got it there.
Keeps ponding, it's not gonna go away.
Yeah. Days it would pond for.
Okay.
Any other questions, Dr. Farrar?
Mr. Kanka, the two rooms at Crockett that are gonna be remade, do we have like equipment in there that's going someplace or?
I don't believe there's any equipment. It's just, look, it's the wood shop over there. And when you have equipment that's in there, they have underground electrical and there's actually electrical plugs and that stick up out of the floor and stuff like that. That has to be removed.
The equipment has been gone for a couple of years and
Okay.
we did remove, agreed, Mr. Kank, there was old spray booth that we already removed, early this summer, but otherwise everything's out.
So the rooms are just stripped and they're just ready. What are we gonna do there? Just
But-
put in desks and,
Right. But it has a high ceiling, it has
Yeah.
different type of flooring, different type of lighting. That's what we're requesting that we get approval to maintain the existing room and do
Okay.
that next summer. We couldn't complete all the work
okay,
this summer. We covered up the flooring of the outlets. We repaired the flooring. We have to cover up a transformer we had the fire inspector in. We've been going through this for almost since the beginning of the summer with the state and the township.
thank you.
The ceilings are gonna get replaced next year or installed. There's this,
Oh, yeah, drop ceiling
Yeah.
and new lighting.
and new lighting.
Any other questions in regards to finance and operation? Mr. Kanka, do you have anything to report for negotiation committee?
No, I had a brief discussion with the HDEA and we're gonna try to get things going hopefully by October or November and try to get this thing taken care of before before June 30th, June of 2024.
Thank you. Dr. Farrar, would you like to take us for a committee report on curriculum and instruction, please?
Thank you. The Curriculum and Instruction Committee met on the evening of August 9th, and all three members were present. Mr. Scotto first talked with us about the removal of two policies based on a directive from Strauss Esme. And for the community, Strauss Esme is a New Jersey-based, oh, lovely, hang on. I totally lost my notes. Mr. O'Boyle, I don't like this computer. It ate everything. Okay, well, Mrs. Thornton, hang on. Well, that won't help me. I'm sorry. So Strauss Esme is a company that watches all the legislation out of Trenton, and it then creates policy for districts. And for districts who don't use Strauss Esme, they use the School Board Association. So it was it was Strauss Esme's, oh my goodness. Yeah,
Dr.
okay.
Farrar, would you like me to come back to you for a committee report?
Yeah, I know, my phone. I can dance around here.
Okay.
So the other program that the other NJSBA services the districts that Strauss Esme doesn't. And so, and now Google doesn't want to send me a code. This is what happens in classrooms. So, Strauss Esme sent us an advisory saying, please remove, which one is it?
The one on the bottom, right?
Yep, okay, 6. So they sent us a note saying, please take policy 9100 out of your policies because you've already got a policy that mirrors that. And so in looking at that, we did indeed find the mirror policy, which was last updated in 2008, which means it has nothing in it about social media, Facebook, none of that stuff. So we're going to remove 9100, which is CNI agenda item 11. And Mr. Scotto is going to reach out to Strauss Esme to see if there's an updated policy for public relations. And then the committee will look at that and bring you back the new policy. So 9100 is just going to go away, 15 years old, and we'll update the other one. The second policy, which is item number 12, asks the board to abolish policy 1648.13, the school employee vaccination requirements. And that was enacted during the pandemic and is no longer needed. And so we can abolish that. The committee was given links to drafts of the updated 9 to 12 English language art curriculum guides, and those revisions were required in order to align with the 2020 New Jersey Student Learning Standards for English language arts classes. The last time those were updated was in 2016. The request for approval of those guides is motion 6. Next, Mr. Scotto discussed the purchase of 3 new textbooks for the district's CTE program. CTE stands for Career and Technical Education. The funding for the text is contained in the budget that we passed in March. 2 of the 3 textbooks needed have been identified by a committee of teachers along with a curriculum supervisor. The texts are both on the same motion. They're motion number 10. Marketing Essentials course is a class open to students in grades 9 to 12, and the text that was selected is titled Marketing Dynamics. It's a brand new publication from publisher Goodhart Wilcox. The text provides students with real-life marketing examples while also providing problem-based learning activities. And I think as someone who's been on the board now for 7 years, and we've talked about project-based learning, the textbooks are finally catching up. Each of the high schools have what is called a DECA program, and it's a club for marketing students. And many of our students have qualified for DECA competitions and have attended conferences. And this text dovetails right into those extracurricular activities. Dr. McSheen and I both have marketing. I have experience. He has a bigger background than I do, but we both like the text. We thought it was very well done and very accessible for students. The other text is sports marketing. That's another 9 to 12 class offered in the district's CTE program. And the textbook selected for this class is called Sports and Entertainment Marketing. Another current text, it provides also real world examples, and students get to work on their own projects. The last of the 3 texts is still under review and is for the district's personal finance course. Personal finance is a half-year course and is required for graduation, so it must be completed by the end of the student's senior year. However, students can take it at any time during their high school career, so they can take it as freshmen, sophomore, juniors, or seniors. There's a new textbook coming out in 2024, and so the committee wanted to hold off and review that text before making a recommendation. And finally, as Dr. Rocco referenced, Mr. Scotto talked to us about the seal of biliteracy. This is a seal that is given to students after testing that goes on to their diploma. And to date, 648 HTSD students have earned this seal in 22 different languages. The seal, which goes on the student's diploma, shows that the student has studied and attained proficiency in at least one language in addition to English. And this year we've had students who actually got a seal in 2 different languages. There is a video explaining this on the district's website. Some of the students who earned the seal have been interviewed, and it, of course, is thanks to the talents of Mr. D'Elia, our video production wizard. And it's just really fun to see at the end of the video, all the different languages that students have achieved seals in. And our next meeting is in September on the 13th. Thank you for your patience with my computer skills.
Thank you, Dr. Farrar. Dr. McSheen, do you have anything to report for DCR for the upcoming year?
Just a super quick update that we actually had a meeting, Dr. Farrar, Superintendent Rocco, and a number of individuals, including Amanda Asquith, who is leading DCR. We're looking at the direction we want to go over the next coming year. So we are basically planning and looking forward to big things this coming year. Thank you.
Great, thank you. So I will go over the Personnel Committee report. The Personnel Committee met on August 9th. We look forward to next month where Ms. Soto will be joining us on Personnel Committee. So we discussed various items and received communication updates from Dr. Rocco in regards to the athletic fields, demographic study, and communication that was going out to our families and community. Majority of the topics that we discussed, as you can imagine, being that we're starting the school year coming in a few weeks, was staffing. And I would like to comment on, I believe Dr. Rocco has already reported, we did discuss the job fair that was held on the 14th, which was a wonderful success. So thank you to everyone so much for all your efforts with that. And you will see the various items on the agenda for appointments this evening. And we always discuss the ongoing staffing of our schools to be able to maintain the best educational environment for our students. And I know that it is a challenge, and I again want to thank everyone for working so hard within our district, because I know that they are working every single day to ensure that we have our teachers and staff for our students. So thank you. Other comments, Mr. Gonzalez? Nope. Okay. So we can move on to.
Hold up, you could talk about job fair recently. Sorry,
Yes.
Mr. Gonzalez. Okay. So recently, Dr. Copeland's been working very hard to attract more candidates to us. And was it last week? We had a job fair where I think we secured 4 candidates in one day. 5 candidates, misspoke. And there's still more work to do, but those are successful days.
Thank you. Any other questions? So we'll move on to the monthly HIB report. Any questions? Monthly suspension report. Monthly health report. Okay. So at this time, we have the hearing of the public on agenda items only. And I'm being told that we do not have anyone signed up for that. So we can close that portion of the hearing of the public and we can move on to agenda items, curriculum and instruction. Dr. Farrar, can you take us through curriculum and instruction?
Absolutely. Upon the recommendation of the superintendent, I move items 1 through 12.
Second.
Any questions on curriculum instruction? I actually do have just a comment. I just wanted to have all board members recognize on motion number 8 that if you do see yourself, kindly abstain under motion 8.
Vote
Okay.
no. I'm voting no. on
Or
this.
you can do that as well.
Only on yourself.
Okay, but only on yourself. Okay. Okay.
Mr. Salantano?
Actually, I do apologize. Dr. McSheen.
I'll just quickly call out the grants and donations. We actually had a number of great ones this month, so really thank you to the community for doing this. From Macmillan Learning, they donated 72 filled backpacks to the pop-up school events, which is amazing. And that's to the value of $720. Ascenda Integrated Health also donated a bunch of school supplies, including pens, pencils, pencil cases, the like, for about $1,000 to the pop-up schools as well. Through Donors Choose, Steinert is getting assorted tools and supplies for robotics class. And look through the list. It's a long list of specialized materials. It's really great. And then we have one that was collected by a group called Mercer Wealth Management. And I understand this is they collected a bunch of donations from the public on this, which is amazing. So thank you to them. And these are a list of books to libraries at Kistar, Layler, Langtree, McGalliard, Mercerville, Wilson, and Yardville Heights. So thank you for that. We have a selection of SEL books and games through Donors Choose as well to University Heights. And then to West from the Friends of Hamilton West Sports, they are donating I guess, alternate football jerseys and also practice jerseys to the team. So thank you for that.
Just a quick comment for the benefit of the board and specifically Ms. Soto, welcome. But don't abstain entirely on 8. Even if you're on it, you would just abstain for that item. Otherwise, it would not pass.
Anyone else? Okay, roll call.
Mr. Salantano,
Yes, abstain on HX.
Dr. Farrar,
Yes, except on number 9, I'm going to abstain on 9D as in dog, 9F as in Frank, and 9G.
Mr. Gonzalez,
Yes.
Ms. Harvey,
Yes, but I abstain on number 8, Z.
Mr. Kanka,
Yes.
Dr. McSheen,
Yes.
Soto,
Yes, but I abstain on item 8, letters FF.
Ms. Thornton,
Yes, but I abstain. Motion 8, abstain on GG. And number 9, I abstain on item B.
motion's passed.
We'll move on to finance and operation. Mr. Kanka, can you take us through finance and operation?
As per recommendation of superintendent, I move motions 1 through 14.
Second.
Do I have any questions? So I actually, Dr. McSheen.
Yes, I have a question on the food service financials report. And it's actually at the very bottom of the report itself. And of course, I lost the tab, so I'm finding it. One second.
Is it the one in red you want?
It's the 2, yeah, it's the.
So as of June, the total negative balance debt is $280,810 and $185,108 is generated via students who are listed as paid status.
Yes, that second bullet, the second red one was kind of confusing to me and I was hoping for some clarification.
On this part about the paid,
Yes.
that
what's
means students that weren't eligible for free and reduce. It's a term
Okay.
used. So, yes.
Perfect, thank you.
So now I need clarification. So the 185,108 are students that don't qualify. And if we subtract that from the 280, those kids were
And
qualified.
many of those students have never submitted an application. So again, we encourage people to submit. It's not that they've been denied. It's that either they're denied, they submitted and were eligible, or they have not submitted.
Okay.
I actually do have a question as well. So on motion 10, under the bill list, I do see a lot of school supplies as we'll be beginning the school year. I just wanted to know if we could just get clarification moving forward on if some of those items were from the 22-23 school year. I do see some, like we have some athletic items that were perhaps from the 22-23 school year, and then moving forward for this year.
There's one way you can tell is by the number on front of the purchase order. If it says 23, that would be from the previous year we're paying now. there's another way too. It sometimes has a P in front of it on the account number, but is there one specifically you're asking about?
Just in general, no, just in general, as there were some, I think, athletic items that were, I believe, for this past school year, and then some,
For the
I
new-
would assume all of the school supplies were for the coming year.
Yes, sometimes, I mean, some things are back ordered, or sometimes we had to wait till they get delivered to pay. Or a lot of times vendors are delayed in giving us the invoices. We know they're delivered, but they haven't, provided us the invoice, and we will not pay until we get that.
Thank you. Any other questions? Okay, we go through roll call.
Mr. Salantano?
Yes.
Dr. Farrar?
Yes.
Mr. Gonzalez?
Yes.
Harvey?
Yes.
Mr. Kanka?
Yes.
Dr. McSheen?
Yes.
Ms. Soto?
Yes.
Ms. Thornton?
Yes.
Motion's passed.
Brings us to personnel items. Mr. Gonzalez, can you take us through personnel?
Yes, as per recommendation of the superintendent, I move motion items 1 through 11 and 13 through 15.
Second.
Do we have any questions in regards to personnel? So I just wanted to make a comment so that Ms. Flonick does not think that I am forgetting. I do not have any retirements on the agenda for this evening, because I would definitely not forget. So I just wanted to make that notation. Okay, we have roll call.
Mr. Salantano?
Yes.
Dr. Farrar?
Yes, except on 3, B as in boy 5, I abstain. On 4, B as in boy 1, no. 4, C, abstain on 110, 117, and 189.
This is where I'm very happy we record these meetings, so I can listen to that one more time, but I think I got it.
I'll give you my notes.
Yes, thank you. Mr. Gonzalez,
Yes.
Ms. Harvey,
Yes.
Mr. Kanka,
Yes.
Dr. McSheen,
Yes, except no on 4B1.
or B1,
Correct.
Ms. Soto,
Yes, except I will abstain on 4, section C, numbers 134 and 186. And item 6, section G, number 2 and number 4. And section H under 6 as well, number 17 and 18.
Ms. Thornton,
Yes.
motion's pass.
So that moves us to other business. Do any board members have any other business that they would like to discuss?
Not business, just a comment. Welcome, Ms. Soto, to the board.
Thank you.
I have other words that I could use, but it would be inappropriate. Just joking, okay? But welcome aboard.
Anything else? So at this time, we're going to move to hearing of the public on school-related matters. Do we have anyone signed up for the second session of hearing of the public? Okay, thank you. So I do have 6 individuals signed up for hearing of the public. So I am going to ask if normally our hearing of the public is a 20-minute session with 4 minutes each. I'm going to ask if we can just extend it that additional time so that we can hear all 6 individuals. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Motion passes.
Okay. Just bear with me because I do have to figure out the timer. Oh, okay. All right. Very good. Okay. So. Perfect. Patty Adonisio.
Only world up here.
I was really hoping that Mike was going to lower this because I'm short. And I'm sitting back there going, I don't know how to do this. I don't know how to make that be any lower. In any case, everybody up here knows me, Patty Adonisio, now president of HTEA. I wanted to take a moment, though, to thank all of you. When Frank and I worked together for 5 years, we developed some really good relationships and whatnot. We got a lot of good work done, and that made my transition to this position a lot easier. So thank you. I am very grateful for that. I still can't find anything in the office. I'm still working on that part of this. Ask me where the staples, the pens, water, I couldn't tell you. That's Eileen in the back that takes care of that for me. But this part made that transition a whole heck of a lot easier. So thanks so much. I wanted to just let everybody know about our picnic that we had for our custodians last Wednesday. It was custodians, the field maintenance and warehouse and trades employees, and to thank them for their hard work, because I think we can all agree we can't open the building without them. And so they deserve that. It was at Veterans Park. We had Mission Barbecue show up, and we had a Mr. Softy truck, which it was really nice to see a whole bunch of grown men line up for ice cream. In any case, I just wanted to say thank you to the board members who attended or donated to the event if they couldn't make it, and especially to my office staff, who I could not have done any of that without them. Actually, they did most of the work. I just kind of walked around and said hello. Today, we had lunch for our new staff at their orientation. I never saw so many people in one room in my entire life. It was over like 100 people. And big thank you to Mr. Scotto. Even though I nearly had a stroke last night and I was freaking out about the whole thing, you really helped me pull it together and make it really nice for them. Just a couple of things I wanted to make note as we head into the start of a new school year. The association recognizes the importance of the upcoming school board election. HTEA will be reaching out to all the candidates on the ballot to meet with us at our office in the very near future. We look forward to sitting down with all interested candidates and hearing your ideas for moving our district forward in a positive direction for our students, staff, and community. Finally, the school year also marks the end of our contract. We're in our final year of our agreement with the district. So we're eager to secure a date, and we're looking forward to sitting down and having a positive and production negotiation process. And that's really it. So thank you once again, and we wish everybody a successful school year.
Thank you. Mr. John Muka.
Good evening, everybody. I'm John Muka, lifelong resident of Hamilton Township. I'm running for school board in this election cycle. I have an MBA from the University of Michigan, and I have a PhD from the School of Education at Temple University. Now, last month's meeting, after a 6-month development process, you approved a new sex education curriculum. And this was without any presentations or explanation. So I've been spending some time trying to delve into that to understand it and find out what was passed. So, for example, within the 6 pages covering 2nd grade sex ed, you'll find the statement, and I quote this: "This is a moment when you can include the statement, some people aren't boys or girls, they're just people." End quote. Now, this is not just some unfortunate way of saying you should treat other boys and girls as individuals. It's a clue about the non-science basis of this module. Ignored are some basic facts. All sexual reproduction involves just 2 sexes, male and female, 2 sexes that cooperate together for reproduction. Sex is assigned at conception. From then on, every cell in the body has either male or female DNA, and this is true for 99% of people. The language in the curriculum guide, and particularly the supporting materials, depart from biology into the world of gender identities, which go beyond the 2 biological choices of male and female. The 2nd grade lesson is called Gender Stereotypes. I'm not sure that 7-year-olds need to start to know about gender stereotypes. It's kind of a big concept. But when you actually look at the curriculum, pay attention to the read aloud exercises and all the supplementary resources. You'll find 3 read aloud books, and they're conveniently available to listen to for free on YouTube. first is called Pink is for Boys. And then there's the book Red, a Crayon Story, the story of a hapless blue crayon stuck in a red wrapper. Is this just a confused boy wearing girls' clothes for some reason? Or is this a metaphor for a boy born in a girl's body? The module implies the red wrapper is not simply red clothes, rather it's possible to be born in a red body, even though you are really blue. Ironically, the third read aloud book, Jacob's New Dress, happens to be about a young biological boy whose parents, teachers, and classmates all affirm him in his decision to wear a dress to school. An important point is made that all gender stereotypes are negative, and that a second grader should consider being a 7-year-old activist, only choosing schoolyard games and toys that have no negative gender stereotypes. Well, the point here is that we're all sowing some seeds here of future gender dysphoria. This is all very confusing, especially for 7-year-olds. So rather than raising the false hope of having some alternate, we should be spending time teaching that there are basically two sexes, and that puberty comes and that children can grow up through puberty and 80% of the time or more overcome any feelings of gender dysphoria. If you teach the wrong rules in math, you'll always get the wrong answer. Tolerance of people who are different or act differently is a good thing, but tolerance of sex ed fallacies for second graders is a bad thing. So I wish you'd spend more time on these things, make them more clear to us in the public. There's such a thing as informed consent, and there's such a thing as home rule, and we need to spend more time on the home part and less time listening to mandates and advice from external sources that come to us from outside of Hamilton. Thank you so much for your attention.
Next, we have Megan Stanton.
Not sure how to move this down. Okay. Hi, everyone. Megan Stanton. I'm a Hamilton resident. My husband and I are proudly raising my incoming second grader as a fourth-generation Hamiltonian. For the last 18 months, I've been coming to the board meetings, and I'm really disheartened by the hyper focus on one issue, an issue that is very emotionally charged versus factually charged, and is something that we can now move on from because good news, our district is following the law. It's time to move on to better priorities like special ed. Our Hamilton students deserve to be supplied with the best possible services and accommodations. Transportation, before and after care, things that have become difficulties for working parents. Security, something that should be a concern for every Hamiltonian. Competing academically in an educationally superior region, preparing our students to strive for the best in college, trades, and careers. Lastly, I want to remind our community that as adults, we should be encouraging proper grammar. An example of this that I have been seeing used improperly, the word woke. Woke is a verb. It is a past tense for wake. An example of this would be John woke up angry. Thank you.
Lisa Lankowski.
Good evening, everyone. I am here as the one of the administrators for the Hamilton Township Community Supporting Education, and we're excited to host our 6th annual meet and greet on Monday, September 11th at 7 p.m. It's going to be held in the library once again, and all 8 candidates are going to be attending. This year, the event is going to be streamed by WBCB, and it's going to be sponsored by the Haldeman Ford as well as the HTEA. Yesterday, we requested for the community to ask the candidates questions. We will randomly draw these questions and ask them at that evening. We're inviting the community to attend the event and support the candidates. And if that's not important enough, the HTEA is also going to be providing snacks and water. So food always brings people out. So we're very, very grateful to have this partnership with the HTEA this year. And we're looking forward to a very wonderful and respectful event. And I wish all of you a fantastic start of yet another school year. Thank you.
Next, we have Drew Cifrodelli.
Hi, everybody. And thank you for all your volunteer work, because I realize that I don't believe any of you are paid for this, right? So you have a very tough job. And I know through the last couple of years of COVID, you were tested day in, day out, I would think. I know you all sworn an oath to uphold the Constitution of the United States and the state of New Jersey. The Constitution says that your job is to protect life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Over the last couple of years, that has been a very tough thing to balance between being an administrator and being told to restrict everybody's life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. So I'm running for sheriff as a constitutional sheriff. If you ever feel that your constitutional rights are being infringed upon, I have a website in which you can log your complaint, and I'll see that I can get the appropriate resources to help you stand up for your constitutional rights. I'm also forming a posse, which is a legal term for being able to deputize members of the community. So if we have some kind of an event that occurs and we need immediate assistance in a location, I'm looking for people from each section of town who can respond at a moment's notice. If you think about what happened in Maui, where a lot of the people that live there aren't able to get back to their homes, if I was sheriff, I could deputize those people. They become emergency servants and they'd be able to get in and help. Okay. Let's see, here. I'm sure you're aware at this point that a lot of the mandates were unconstitutional. If you felt that way, as I did, you could have approached me and I could have helped you stand up for your rights. At this point, we know that many of the people are getting injured by things that they didn't have to get injured by. We know that ivermectin and hydroxychloroquine actually worked, and that information was suppressed and censored. If that information had gotten out, they would not have had an emergency use authorization for the vaccines in the first place, and a several billion-dollar industry would have exploded right in front of our faces. So they couldn't let that information get out, and they weaponized many school boards across the entire country to implement what they wanted to do in their agenda. And I'm sure there's people on this board that are not happy about being weaponized. So again, if I were sheriff, you could have come to me, filed your complaint, and I would have done what I could to do, it went within my power as sheriff to do something to help you. So again, my website is drewformercer.com, and you can go there and you can see my constitutional crisis hotline, and you can sign up to be a member of my posse. That'd be great. Thank you.
Doug Honchak. Okay, thank you. So that does conclude the public hearing. At this time, do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Aye. Opposed?
Oh,
Abstained? Motion passes.
what's that?